is CEO Keithroy Halliday.
What we did only impacted around 10 people. All persons that were employed at WASA have been reverted back to their substantial positions. Therefore, there would have been no job loss to any employee previously employed at WASA. We have ended the service of the CEO.
Halliday was brought in under the previous PNM administration to lead WASA's transformation plan. CNC3 News understands that as part of his employment package, Halliday was earning over $100,000 per month. Babu says WASA's board stands ready to defend against any legal challenges.
I had a meeting with Mr. Halliday, and it was a very cordial meeting. The court are there for that in case of there's any dispute as to any kind of matters in terms of contract or whatever have you. Mm-hmm. So I am expecting that there may be challenges to the decision of the authority, but we are standing by our decisions.
WASA's Board of Commissioners has since confirmed that Jivan Joseph will act as CEO. Upon being elected into office, the Kamla Persad-Bissessar government moved to scrap the transformation plan. Public Utilities Minister Barry Pidarath was also critical of WASA's management structure and raised concerns about ballooning salaries.
Those who were affected by the rescinding of the transformation plan but were not in the organization before, proper HR practice will be followed. So in the long and short of it, yes, we are bringing now into the effect of the rescinding of that transformation plan.
During his Standing Finance Committee contribution on Monday, Pidarath said the transformation plan cost taxpayers over $13 million. A report by a subcommittee found that WASA's model was incapable of effectively satisfying the customers' demands and the state's mandate. Public Services Association President Felicia Thomas stated that by scrapping the plan, thousands of jobs were saved and pledged to continue working with the government. She confirmed that the new CEO has already engaged with her on the way forward. Jesse Ramdale, CNC3 News.
And former Public Utilities Minister Marvin Gonzalez is slamming the firings as scandalous and repulsive.
He condemned the minister's character assassination of fired CEO Keithroy Halliday. Minister Pidarath called Halliday a failed CEO from Barbados in the parliament. Gonzalez says those words are reckless, misinformed, disrespectful, and deeply unbecoming of a government minister.
He also named Krishna Prasad Singh and new CEO Jivan Joseph as junior staffers who were elevated over more established persons without due process. Gonzalez ended his response saying only when UNC wins, only the UNC wins.
In some other major developments, there's confirmation tonight that former Finance Minister Larry Hawaii is the new central bank governor. In a statement, Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku confirms the appointment of former Governor Dr. Alvin Hilaire was revoked yesterday.
Shortly after his appointment, Hawaii told Andrea Perez Soares that his first order of business will be dealing with the foreign exchange crisis.
On Wednesday afternoon, Larry Hawaii walked out of the Ministry of Finance building on Independence Square with his instruments of appointment as the new central bank governor. This after former central bank governor Dr. Alvin Hilaire was fired. 2 weeks ago, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar said that Dr. Hilaire was refusing to divulge information on the top users of foreign exchange in this country. Today, Governor Hawaii, in a sit-down interview with CNC3, says he will be on the job from tomorrow and admitted that it would be a big challenge, especially dealing with the foreign exchange crunch, which he says must be dealt with carefully.
We have to consider what are the options available to us from monetary policy point of view, foreign exchange policy point of view, to ensure that we could create the most value for economy based on what we have at the moment.
Asked how he's going to deal with the government asking him for certain confidential information on Forex, he said,
I need to understand exactly what is required, what information has been requested. Certainly it's not my intention to name anyone. So, for those who may have been concerned about that, I think they can exhale. That's not going to be an issue.
On whether he believed he was caught between a political football, Governor Hawaii, who has 50 years banking experience, quickly said no. He says the public must understand what the government is trying to achieve.
What information that we can provide and support that we can provide that would help the government to achieve its objectives, legitimate objectives as far as the needs of the population are concerned. So it's a question of finding a solution.
CNC3 News reached out to former Governor Hilaire, but up to news time, there was no response. The Office of the President responding to questions about the revocation of the appointment, saying she acts in accordance with the advice of the Cabinet. The legislative authority for the appointment and revocation of appointment of the Governor of the Central Bank is provided by Section 7 and 12, respectively, of the Central Bank Act, Chapter 7902. Andrea Perez-Sobers, CNC3 Business Watch.
However, a former finance minister is baffled by the sudden revocation of the central bank governor's appointment, especially if it stemmed from his refusal to name the country's top foreign exchange users.
Also weighing in, another ex-finance minister believes the controversy is heading straight to the court, while a political scientist warns the fallout could cost taxpayers dearly. Doris Polo has this story.
Everyone comes in as part of a relay team. You get the baton and you pass it on.
But with a year and a half left to complete his leg of the race, Dr. Alvin Hilaire was sidelined for Larry Hawaii in a move former Finance Minister Calum Imbert considers a shocker.
The message that is coming is quite astonishing, that the government was trying to get him to release personal and private information. And he said no, and they fired him. That's the message, but I don't know what else went on.
He's also calling on the government to come clean on the real reason the central bank governor was fired.
If now the present governor was being pressured by the government to reveal the names of persons who were in receipt of foreign exchange, and he declined, and he got fired for that, that would be very surprising.
It was just 4 months ago the Court of Appeal upheld a 2022 High Court ruling awarding former Central Bank Governor Jawala Rambaran $5.47 million in compensation for his wrongful dismissal by the government in 2015. A costly decision, political scientist Dr. Bishnu Raghunath suspects the new government has made.
What we don't want to happen, and what the government has been telling us since over the last few weeks, is simply that they are not going to be wasting money in the way they say the previous government wasted money.
But another former finance minister believes the government may have considered the consequences before making its move.
It may be that the government is willing to pay the price of that, to have the new governor installed, someone who they feel that will, on critical issues, and it seems they are critical issues, the Auditor General issue was one, and the other issue, of course, is naming the persons who were the main beneficiaries of the government's of the foreign exchange.
Dr. Raghunath lamented what he considers to be a persistent double standard in governance, where political parties often call for reform while in opposition, but abandon those calls once in power to preserve political flexibility. He thinks the time has come to stop the politicization of top state appointments. Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
And now to this. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is vowing to purge schools of violence, repeating her warning that there will be serious consequences for criminal behavior.
The comments come after 5 female students of 3 secondary schools were charged in connection with the beating of a 15-year-old Holy Faith Convent Couva student on June 10th. Assistant Police Commissioner Wayne Meister confirmed the girls, who range from 14 years to 18 years of age, were charged with assault occasioning actual bodily harm. He says summons will be issued for them to appear in court. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar says the rights of students who want to learn will be protected, but referencing the incident involving a Form 5 student at Southeast Port of Spain Secondary, she warned students that engage in violence and general criminality will face charges. Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlat says the 5 female students remain on extended suspension pending the outcome of a thorough investigation.
Well, still to come in the news, freedom short-lived for 3 Venezuelan detainees who were recaptured shortly after escaping IDC.
Comimbit continues to insist his office renovations were a mere fraction of $1 million cost, but he's yet to provide proof.
Coming up in sport, we'll tell you what TNT's youth mixed martial arts teams are up to on the international front.
At Bagwansing's Port of Spain and Chagonas, we are committed to providing quality products for all major building projects. Let's build together with rebars and beams, BRC coils and mats, RHS and angles, roofing sheets and purlins, lumber, plywood and MDF. Bagwansing's, building homes, building communities, building TNT for over 60 years. Bagwansing's, Port of Spain and Chagonas, building value every day.
The heated dispute between Comimbit and Public Utilities Minister Barry Pedarath continued today, with the former minister calling the current one a flat-out liar.
Pedarath alleged in Parliament this week that $1.3 million was spent on renovations for Comimbit's new office at 1 Alexandra Place after his transfer from the Ministry of Finance. Specific expenses included $60,000 for design fees, $40,000 for a workstation, and $68,000 for 2 paintings and their installation. Today, at a PM News conference, Imbert doubled down on rejecting those allegations. Imbert said when he left government, the work on his specific office only involved new carpeting, new window blinds, new lighting, and painted walls at a cost of $70,000. He said any other expenditure is the UNC's doing.
They selected the paintings, not me. They didn't. I was not involved in any of that. So I will send you the documentation. You could decide what you want to do, but I'm calling him a liar outside.
Imbert reiterated that the money spent to refurbish parts of the ministry's building was not for his benefit, but rather the workers there.
When I looked at the permanent secretary's accommodation, when I look at the accommodation of the secretarial staff, when I looked at the waiting area where visitors have to attend, when I look at the condition of the bathrooms, I requested refurbishment of the entire floor, which had not been dealt with for 15 years and was in a deplorable condition.
But Minister Pedarath said Imbert is being disingenuous. Pedarath said he has documentary evidence that Imbert provided the permanent secretary with expenditure requests totaling almost $1 million.
Well, following a suggestion earlier this week by House Speaker Jagdeo Singh, we asked citizens if they agree there should be a code of conduct in Parliament.
Here's what you had to tell us.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPL.
Of course, 110%. Why? Because they take the parliament for a market, a fish market. So there should be, because a lot of children viewing as well, and they should need to conduct themselves better.
Yes, I should, because within disagreements, they may see things out of hand, and it might not be the time and place for that.
Yeah, I believe there should be a code of conduct in Parliament.
Right.
Because there should be a code of conduct anyway. So yeah, they should have a code of conduct in Parliament.
Yes, I feel there should be a level of professionalism inside Parliament, because the way they're getting on sometimes isn't the best at times. Yeah,
it goes for everybody straight across the board. Like everyone has to behave the same in a proper manner.
As in everything else, there should be a code of conduct, because the parliamentary privilege sometimes are taken advantage of, and things are said that, could be a bit, demeaning and defamatory. So with a code of conduct, everyone has the ability to restrict themselves to be a bit on a professional level.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPL.
3 of the 5 Venezuelan detainees who escaped from the immigration detention center in Arepo on Tuesday have been recaptured. Police said the men were held during an incident-free 5.5-hour search of abandoned houses and farmlands between Arepo and Valencia. Police are calling on the public to assist in recapturing the remaining fugitives, who have been identified as Miguel Sanchez and Lizer Omar Miza Font. In the media release, Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara commended his officers and thanked the public for their assistance in recapturing the men. Anyone with information on their whereabouts is urged to contact the police at 999-555, Crime Stoppers at 800-TIPS. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine is tonight crediting investments made by the Tobago House of Assembly for the drop-in murders on the island in 2025, and he says he's ready to face the consequences. Tobago recorded its bloodiest year in 2024 with 26 murders, including the island's first ever quadruple murder. But now there is a sharp decline with only 3 murders recorded for the first half of 2025, and all 3 have been solved. This represents a 72% decline from the previous year. Augustine says the progress is no accident. According to him, the THA spent millions supporting national security services on the island.
We were there last year. We had 24 largest in our history, and now we are mid-year, approaching the 7th month, and we are way beneath where we were last year at this time. And that is a good sign. But I don't want us to become complacent at all, because sometimes one little thing could become a trigger and could cause us to fall back into the place where we were at.
Augustine says the THA will continue investing in community development, social services and youth training. According to Augustine, the Assembly spent $1.4 million on vehicles to aid national security operations, though national security is not legally under the Assembly's remit. According to the THA Act, the Assembly also funded accommodation for officers and upgraded prison and police facilities. Augustine told the Chamber during a plenary sitting that he was prepared to be flagged by the Auditor General for taking on a central government responsibility to keep Tobagonians safe.
One of 2 suspects held in relation with the attempted murder of prison officer Govindra Balgobin is released by police. The search continues for a 3rd suspect while another remains in a serious condition at hospital. Police say they've identified a 3rd suspect and believe an arrest is imminent. Meanwhile, the suspect who was injured remains warded at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex in a serious condition. Police say they have exhausted all evidential trails in relation to the man who was released. Balgobin was shot on Friday night after leaving work at the maximum security prison. CNC3 News was informed that Balgobin, who needed blood, received it and is resting in a stable condition at hospital.
As investigations are underway into allegations of criminal misconduct on the part of DCP Suzette Martin, former chairman of the Police Service Commission, Professor Ramesh Devasaran, is urging the current commission to publicly address the matter. Responding to CNC3 News questions via email, Professor Devasaran said the commission had a responsibility to at least state whether they were considering suspending Martin as the inquiry is already underway. He noted that the PSC should consider the recent court judgment against former top cop Earl Herwood Christopher, who unsuccessfully challenged her suspension as they deliberate on whether Martin should be placed on leave. He also urged investigator Kurt Simon to conduct the inquiry thoroughly with the best interest of the public and due process in mind.
As oil prices fail to surge, Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Monilal is clarifying his statements, saying a spike was never a certainty. As tensions rose and military action intensified between Israel and Iran, experts predicted a sharp rise in oil prices, given that Iran is one of the world's leading oil producers, and any disruption to its exports could negatively impact supply. In the lower house last Monday, Dr. Monilal said this could lead to huge financial benefits for this country. However, at midday on Wednesday, West Texas Intermediate and Brent crude had the per barrel price at around $65 and $68, almost the same as pre-conflict prices. But Minister Monilal told CNC3 News he never told the Parliament that a price increase was certain, as it depended on several factors outside of this country's control.
I was very clear that in my presentation, I made the point that the expectation of high oil prices has to do with the conflict and the buildup of that conflict. It is not that one can, anticipate with 100% accuracy what will be the price of oil tomorrow. Nobody knows that. And that was the point I was making.
Several factors have prevented a sustained price increase.
The most significant has been the rapid de-escalation and a reported ceasefire between Iran and Israel. Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight. Happy gut, happy brain. Tonight we look at a popular superfood kimchi and all of its health benefits.
We had an initially sunny start to the day, but then some showers rolled in over Trinidad by mid-morning. During the afternoon, some of those showers developed into thunderstorms, but they moved across the island pretty quickly, and that activity has now mostly settled. I'll have the update on tropical wave number 10 coming up just after the break.
Hun, it's asking for your password.
Huh?
You were logged out. I need the password.
BR.
What's the rest?
BRANDI, the number 4, EVER?
Who's Brandy?
We're like the password that isn't your ex-girlfriend's name. CG United. Good like that.
I should have changed it.
You should have.
You're right.
Discover Regal Granola. Crunchy, flavorful, bursting with berries, seeds, Regal almonds, walnuts, pecans. High in fiber with real orange juice. Get Regal Granola, the perfect snack for your lunchbox.
Konnichiwa. Watashi wa the mighty K. So I just want to sing a little example for you. What me and mommy make up. So start the music, DJ. I did take my supplements, yes I do. Oh my God, I'm really working for you. This helps my body feel just right, so I can focus on day and in the night. Big dreams need a healthy start, so I'm taking care of my body in every part. Hey.
ChatGPT, I'm falling.
Failing grades? Contact Student Hub.
I ain't say failing, I say falling.
Then it's time to stop failing. Student Hub helps students succeed online. If school feels like a free fall, Student Hub helps you land on top.
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
When I am with my friends and those pains that knock me down arrive, I take Panadol Ultra because it relieves fast 5 types of tough pain and it does not irritate the stomach. That's why my choice is always Panadol Ultra to feel relief quickly and enjoy every second. Panadol, release starts here.
Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill your basket. Get it all at Southern Food Basket. Fresh goods on every aisle with best prices. For the best mix and market. High quality, yes. It's affordable, spacious and customer friendly. From the farm to the cart to your plate. Southern Food Basket. Good food at great prices. Come on home, everybody, don't you wait. Southern Food Basket's the best marketplace for you. Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill your basket. Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill your basket.
Asafa Powell, the Jamaican sprinting icon who shattered the 100-meter world record and redefined the limits of human speed, reveals the relentless drive that fuels his journey.
Omega XL, this good for your giants then.
Try Omega XL, it works.
When you look in the mirror, you see this old school cowboy.
Why did Sonny Hayes come back to F1? You say he was old, he not that old.
I never should have pulled you into this.
3 laps. 3 laps is a lifetime.
So I hear Beta Homes has the best kitchens.
You heard right. We have Shaker style, modern Euro, and hardwood.
I like this one. Can I test it right here, right now?
Sure, but how are you gonna do that?
All right, you all, come inside. Are you ready?
Time's alive! Oh, a spice rack.
Soft close door hinges. Oh, this countertop's nice, well. It's hot.
So, what do you think?
Well, this
100%.
is it. I'll take it. Build the kitchen you love for less at Beta Homes, Caroni or French Street.
Well, they always say happy gut, happy brain, and one of the best ways to keep your gut smiling is through probiotics.
We know about yogurt and maybe even sauerkraut, but there's another rising star, kimchi. This spicy Korean dish is gaining fans worldwide and yes, even right here in TNT.
Liana Maharaj spoke to the experts about why kimchi isn't just tasty, it's also considered a superfood.
Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by BioStrath. Get what you need naturally.
Let's go!
K-pop, K-dramas, K-beauty. Those are the Ks you'd usually associate with Korea. But how about kimchi? It's not just the word most Koreans say when taking a photo.
Kimchi!
It's a staple in almost every Korean household, and it's actually becoming quite popular here in TNT. Kimchi refers to vegetables that are fermented. While it may not look like the most appetizing thing on the menu, it sure packs a punch of nutrients. Registered dietitian Mawea Elias says cabbage, which is the main ingredient in kimchi, already carries vitamins B and C, as well as fiber. But the fermentation process makes it more beneficial since the vegetables become more absorbable.
During the fermentation process, like isothiocyanates, which is a type of antioxidant, so in the raw cabbage you may not get that benefit, but the fermentation process helps to increase those antioxidants.
One of the major benefits you'll hear about kimchi is that it's a probiotic that can help with gut health.
Because we know so much more about the microbiome, which is the healthy gut bacteria. Conditions like constipation and diarrhea could be helped by foods like probiotics that would help to strengthen the overall gut health.
And having a healthy gut can lead to an overall health boost.
The healthier your gut health and the more good bacteria you have, it really has been shown to help with conditions like anxiety.
With so many health benefits in kimchi, we thought we'd try getting a taste of it ourselves.
So we visited a Korean cooking instructor, Jamie Kim, who has years of kimchi making experience that was passed down from her mother. She showed us how to salt the napa cabbage and prepare the other ingredients. They're mostly basic items you can get at any grocery store, but there are some slightly uncommon items.
Some people put brine shrimp, like fermented shrimp, or some people they put oyster or squid. It's for help the ferment. So that's why we put also fish sauce.
But we're not feeling so adventurous just yet, so the only special ingredient we'll be using in this case is rice, which will more or less have the same effect. Now for those wanting to try making kimchi, you can use regular cabbage, cucumber, green onions, or even watermelon rind. But for the traditional recipe, napa cabbage is the best.
Regular cabbage, it's very thin and also it's not firm. So when you brine it and when you salt the cabbage, it becomes too soft. You have to eat it maybe within a week.
With napa cabbage, it can last up to 2 years. So although it may be something that's outside your comfort zone, maybe give kimchi a try. We have a gut feeling you'll enjoy it, and so will your body. Liana Maharaj, CNC3 News.
Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by BioStrath. Get what you need naturally. Tonight's weather report, brought to you by Redoxon.
Mark's hair. We need some sunshine in our lives.
Well, I'll give you what you're asking for. We'll get some sun tomorrow, especially after the almost 7 days of continuous rainfall. Right? So let's take a look at the satellite. Here we have the remnants of the intertropical convergence zone. Notice that over the last few days, the band has been getting a bit narrower, but in any case, the high pressure out in the North Atlantic is expected to push it south of our area, so that will give us some much improved conditions tomorrow. Further east, we have 2 tropical waves. Number 10 is expected sometime on Saturday as it had slowed down just a bit. Then we'll be looking out for number 11 early next week. Now zooming into the region, the majority of the Lesser Antilles experienced mostly fair conditions today, just 1 or 2 patches passing showers. Really nice and sunny conditions over Tobago as well today. Then here we can better see the ITCZ, and it's very slowly slipping southward of us and weakening. So the forecast for tonight, the cloudiness from today's activity will soon clear up and give us a mostly fair night, but the remnants of the ITCZ will give southern areas of Trinidad a few showers. Overnight lows of 24 in Trinidad and 25 over in Tobago. Tomorrow we'll have a mostly sunny, hazy and breezy day with a high of about 33 degrees, so just a bit on the warm side. Just a low chance of the odd daytime shower, but we'll also have Saharan dust in the mix, and it's expected to gradually decrease heading into Friday, which is when we'll expect some of the moisture coming in ahead of the next tropical wave. Now this week's dust plume is actually expected to make it all the way to the United States, affecting mainly the Gulf Coast states. Now taking a look at the seas, we have moderate conditions with waves in open waters between 2 meters and 2.5 meters and less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. Winds are expected out of the east at about 15 to 20 knots. We'll also gradually see a decrease in the winds heading into this weekend. Now looking ahead, an increase in the chance of rain from Friday with the low chance of the isolated thunderstorm. Then tropical wave number 10 passes on Saturday with the medium to high chance of some thunderstorms. Then some improvement can be expected on Sunday and Monday, but they'll still be relatively wet days. Now this week in the Atlantic Ocean, we crossed one name off the list, but in the Eastern Pacific, they may well be on their way to the 6th named storm of the season. The National Hurricane Center is monitoring yet another disturbance in that area with a high chance of development over the next 7 days. And once it attains tropical storm status, it will be named Flossie.
Tonight's weather report brought to you by Redoxon.
It's definitely a unique name. It's Flossie with an F.
Never heard that name before.
Neither have I.
Now on the other hand, in the Atlantic Ocean, we had Andrea this week, and the next name is actually Barry.
Interesting. Okay.
No comment. Thank you so much, Jean-Marc. Let's tell you still to come in the news. History comes to life as Gloucester Lodge students came to school dressed as their elders.
Your immune system is your first line of defense. Discover BioStrath Immune Health. BioStrath Immune Health is enriched with zinc, ensuring that your body stays resilient. BioStrath Immune Health. Get what you need naturally.
Have you heard? The hilarious adult comedy Married and Mischievous is coming to an end. No. Where are the last shows? I'll tell you. Port of Spain. Final 2 shows at Queen's Hall on Friday, July 4th and Saturday, July 5th at 8:30 p.m. And our absolutely last show is on Sunday, July 6th in Sapa, San Fernando. Tickets available in all usual outlets in North and South. Don't miss the comedy that everybody is raving about. Check RSRR Productions Theatre on social media. And remember, strictly adults only. It's a bacchanal.
Redoxon Triple Action. Try its fresh orange flavor with no sugar. Delivers strong immune support with vitamin C, D, and zinc. Strengthen your defenses against viruses every day with Redoxon Triple Action. Redoxon. More than vitamin C, it's from Bayer.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Get a loan at Bremont. The process is simple. Fast and efficient approvals. Receive funds within 24 hours once approved. And no penalty for early repayment. Located at 4 Gala Street, Woodbrook. Remember, we like to lend.
There's a powerful switch inside your body, AMPK. It tells your system to burn fat, balance blood sugar, and boost energy. Berberine Plus activates AMPK naturally, supporting metabolism, weight management, and healthy insulin function. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, powered by AMPK, perfected by nature.
Cold or flu? Take Panadol multi-symptoms. Relief in minutes. 7 cold and flu symptoms. Panadol. Release starts here.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. That should big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop, Sumitomo, and Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Cuba, Chaguanas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
Manage inflammation with Omega XL, a one-of-a-kind, powerful, natural anti-inflammatory supplement that has helped millions find relief from their pain, just like world-renowned cricketer Dwayne Bravo.
Don't wait until it's too late. Take care of yourself, take care of your health with Omega XL. Omega XL helps us to work hard, play hard. This is your champion, DJ Bravo, and I approve this message.
Live healthy, stay strong with Omega XL. Visit your local pharmacy or health food store today.
The best birthday gifts are at thebesttoys.com. Shop for the best brands you love at the best prices. Like VTech, Leapfrog, Fisher-Price, Play-Doh, Hot Wheels, Barbie, Cocomelon, LOL, Baby Alive, Crayola, Lego, Nerf, and remote control vehicles, kids learning desks, and educational toys.
Visit us at Forces Flagship MacBean or M6 Plaza, Endeavor, or shop online at dbesttoys.com. We have the best toys at the best prices.
To strengthen your immune system, you need to nourish your body with foods rich in antioxidants. Exercise regularly and build your immunity with supportive nutrients. That's why the experts at Jameson created products for immune support made with pure ingredients. For 100 years, Jameson has helped take care of you and your family. At Jameson, your wellness will always be our goal. Jameson, here for your health.
Several months after receiving starter homes, $20,000 grants and 2-acre plots through the Youth in Agriculture Homestead program, young farmers in Chatham are still struggling.
Although grateful for the opportunity, the farmers tell CNC3 News they are grappling with flooding, poor access roads and subpar drainage which hindered their progress. The Youth in Agriculture Homestead program was the brainchild of the Keith Rowley government. The aim was to train 1,000 new farmers. The pilot project kicked off at Beach Road, Chatham in February 2023, where acres of land were cleared and starter homes constructed by the Land Settlement Agency. While Agriculture Minister Ravi Rathiram awaits a brief on the project, the farmers enrolled in the project are hoping to have an on-site meeting with him so he can assess their challenges. Joel Wilson of Dago Martin, who received a plot of land in Chatham, says the project should go on, but he wants better infrastructure for farmers.
Assistance, we could do some assistance because I could see water coming on the land. So that is the main thing they need to come and see about. And right, we need to deal with water, we need connection. We need some water because after water from Clyde by the standpipe must is about what? 2 miles, 3 miles. So yeah, that is it.
And Felix Jeremy of Pity Valley says the program should be expanded and proper infrastructure be placed before lands are distributed.
Well, this program is a very good program once we get in the support that we're supposed to get. Because as far as I understand is that the government say once you go through the program, they will assist you in helping you with funds to start up and stuff. A lot of us have to, well, a lot of them had to spend money from their own pocket to start up. Look at, if you watch around the lands on them, a lot of them properly started up. Have a lot of big trees, a lot of bushes around.
On Saturday, Minister Rathiram told CNC3 News he's assessing the program and will provide assistance to farmers across the country as part of his plan to reduce this country's hefty food import bill.
It's now time for sport. Let's hand you over to Jassy.
Thanks, guys. Here's a look at what we have coming up after the break. Insight into a national discussion on how to improve our stockpile of homegrown athletic talent.